also.
Yeah, for sure.
I got some things that I printed out also.
You guys are right up there. Here we go. Let's start about a minute and a half. Lock it off right there. Good job. Yeah, stay on 30. Yep, stay on 30. Switch back when the game gets started, but in the pregame, make sure you got 30 on board. Yeah, we stopped at 12.
So, unless they changed it, I know you made a comment about Farmingdale working their way into the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they changed it, everybody in Conference 1, and that's
T&D Sports, an exclusive video broadcast.
This game is brought to you by the Lessings Hospitality Group, and we're coming to you from Don Snyder Stadium here on the campus of Farmingdale High School. T&D Sports presents Section 8 Girls Lacrosse between the Cold Spring Harbor Seahawks and the Farmingdale Dalers. And alongside one-time Oyster Bay Girls Lacrosse coach Charlie Rizzuto, I'm Larry Caridney for the Section 8 Conference 1 matchup between the Dalers and the Seahawks. Both teams going in opposite directions. Farmingdale coming in with a record of 3-9, and obviously in rebuilding mode, but it is the Cold Spring Harbor Seahawks, the three-time state champions, looking to get back there.
Yeah, Cold Springs coming in, the Class D defending New York State champions. They are a senior-laden team. They're a perennial power in Nassau County, as you can see their roster right there before you. Cold Spring is played in Conference 1, I think, since the inception of the ability-based structure in Nassau County. And we have a fundraiser going on today at Farmingdale for Hayden Kirk, a former Farmingdale goalie. So we're going to highlight both goalies for each team here in a second.
As we'll take a look at our spotlight here for Cold Spring Harbor is number 30, Maya Soskin.
Yeah, Maya's a two-time All-American. She has over 650 saves in her career. She's heading down to the University of Florida, part of that Long Island pipeline going down to Florida. She was also an All-Long Island selection last year, which is sometimes more difficult to receive on Long Island than even All-American.
And we'll flip over to the Farmingdale Dalers, and what do you see here, Charlie, about stars to watch?
Yeah, so Farmingdale is a young team. They're starting a bunch of sophomores. They're only starting one senior. They're starting an 8th grader, Molly McNamara. But again, we're going to highlight their goalie, who's also a first-year starter. Coach described number 37, Megan Caputo, as a wall back there, a big-time stopper, continuously growing through the program and getting better in her clearing game, which Coach is hoping can generate some offense for the Dalers today.
So only about 2 weeks remaining in the Nassau County regular season before the postseason takes place. And we'll take a break, and we'll be back with the start of the game between Cold Spring Harbor and Farmingdale coming up next on T&D Sports Video.
Located in the heart of Cold Spring Harbor, Sandbar features a polished coastal casual ambiance that creates a sleek backdrop for elaborate American cuisine from both the land and the sea. Scan the QR code above and type in LI Sports for 10% off your next meal.
Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field. So why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe? where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Start your day off the right way with peace, love, and bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4 Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Half pipe leave you full of pain? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle, so you can feel better, faster.
Take a look at some of the future Farmingdale Dares as the introductions for the lineups have been announced. And again, subscribe, follow, and ring the bell for the Game of the Week highlights, info, and more as both teams get ready for the start. And just one quick key before we get going here, Charlie.
Yeah, for Cold Spring Harbor, they want to win the 50-50 balls, and they want to play all 4 quarters. For Farmingdale, they want to contain some of Cold Spring Harbor's top players, right? Specifically Reynolds and Callaghan.
So we got with the start of the game here on the Lessings Hospitality Group T&D Sports Video.
Located in the heart of Cold Spring Harbor, Sandbar features a polished coastal casual ambiance that creates a sleek backdrop for elaborate American cuisine from both the land and the sea. Scan the QR code above and type in LI Sports for 10% off your next meal.
Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field. So why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Start your day off the right way with peace, love, and bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4 Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
And we're back here at Farmingdale High School. Also just want to mention, too, during the national anthem, Jessica Rio and Brenna Kelly doing the sign language version of the national anthem, 2 players on the Dale. So that's something that you don't necessarily see, but a good sight as we're going to both have this game coming up as a nice, comfortable 71-degree day here in eastern Nassau County. And, of course, coming into this game in Conference 1, Cold Spring Harbor in 4th place with a record of 7-2. They're actually tied for 3rd, with Manhasset with that record. Farmingdale on the bottom of that with a record of 3-8. But again, as you mentioned to me earlier, Charlie, that all teams in Conference 1 should be making the playoffs. So we'll see how things go in this game.
Yeah, like you referenced before, I just want to point out that's the first time in all the years I've been associated with lacrosse, not saying it's never happened before, but that I've seen players or anybody signing the national anthem. So that was really nice to see. But yeah, it's a beautiful day. I'm really excited for today's game. Like I said, 2 historically great lacrosse programs, not only on Nassau County, not only on Long Island, New York State, and known nationally as well. Both programs have won state championships. Both programs take a lot of pride in their winning and how they conduct themselves on and off the field.
Farmingdale is led by Coach Melanie Peck, who played here at Farmingdale, and she won a state title back in 2009 and 2010, and looking to get the team back into the promised land. Of course, again 15-4 last season. They lost to Massapequa in the Nassau County Class A final. 10-7 was the score in that game last season. So obviously, again, a lot of young kids on this team also too, and looking to rebuild. And of course, also too, the coach, one of the assistant coaches on Farmingdale is Tracy Weiner, who was their coach for 23 years. She retired back in 2008, has been assistant coach since 2009. And of course, Peck was one of her players back then as well. So a little bit of guidance from one of her former coaches.
Yeah, Coach Peck said that the girls love when Coach Weiner arrives at practice. She brings an intensity. She brings insight. She said that the girls are super focused on trying to impress her because they know what she built here over the years and all the success that she's had at Farmingdale and also coaching at the club level. But, Coach Peck, she played here at Farmingdale. She also played at Fairfield. I think she was Rookie of the Year her freshman year at Fairfield. So they got a great staff. They're developing some young talent, looking to get back to winning Nassau County championships, Long Island championships, and state championships.
Cold Spring Harbor is led by Coach Danielle Castellane. Of course, we mentioned they being the state champions. They were the Class D champions last year, and they were the Class C champions in 2018 and 2019. They are 9-time Long Island champions overall, 6 consecutive championships from 2018 until last season, with 2020 being wiped out due to COVID. And they are the 11-time Nassau champions, 5 consecutive championships. So, again, just trying to continue to build whatever they can into leading themselves back to the state championship.
Yeah, Coach Castellane, she's a great coach. She's obviously, built a powerhouse over there at Cold Spring Harbor. I was fortunate enough, I guess, maybe unfortunate enough, to play against Cold Spring Harbor and Coach Castellane 4 times in my coaching career. It's one of the few teams that we never beat. We lost to them 3 times in the Nassau County Championship game. I think they beat us to win their first ever Nassau County Championship game in a 13-9. Really good game. That was our second year as a program. So, she's a great coach. She does a lot of great things with the program. She's never really in rebuilding mode. It's reloading mode. So she's looking to get back to the state championship this year and bring another one back home for the Seahawks.
And Farmingdale, again, 16-time Nassau County champions. The last time they won was in 2019. They are the 7-time LIC champion. Last time they won was 2013. So about to get going here on the opening draw. It will be Molly McNamara for Farmingdale.
Ryan Reynolds.
And Ryan Reynolds for Cold Spring Harbor. The draw controlled by the Dalers. And bringing it in, it was Julianne Bresky, a sophomore, on the attack. Of course, now a shot clock as well being installed this year, 90-second shot clock on the girls' side. And just like last season, 12-minute quarters, 4 quarters, rather than the 2 25-minute halves we've seen the last few years.
Yeah, at this point in the season, the shot clock is something that I think all the teams are, for the most part, used to. Right? They've settled into their offensive sets. They're in their timing on when they get into things and maybe change the shape of their offense. But the shot clock is something that a lot of people have been waiting for a really long time.
That's good ball movement by the Dalers and a nice opening save there.
Yeah, that's a great save by Saskin right off the bat. First shot, good save. You could see right there the way that she tracks the ball, right? She watched the ball all the way into her pocket, controls any rebound, and starts some transition for the Seahawks.
Saskin is 8th in Nassau County with 107 saves coming in on the season. As the Seahawks with first possession for them. Taking it behind the net now, going into the net, and a good draw and a save there by Caputo.
It's a nice save by Caputo. Again, tracking the ball, gets her shin on it, kicks it out to the side. Looks like it's going to be Seahawk ball.
The shot was taken by Olivia Mulata of Cold Spring Harbor. As this time, that one shot went in. Good bounce, and the first goal to the Seahawks, and it's going to be credited to Maggie Spur, the senior.
Yeah, Olivia Mulata with the assist, right? Lefty player. She's a basketball player. She's got great vision, right? Pushes the corner a little bit. Good backside cut by number 15, Maggie Sphere. I like the way she handles the ball and changes level on her shot, right? She catches the ball up high above her head, makes sure she changes levels low into the goal, puts it right inside the left post. That's a really tough save for the goalie to make. It's a good play, good quick restart, right? Talk about winning the whistle a lot in lacrosse, being ready to play when the whistle goes, generate advantage either offensively or defensively. Mulata playing with her head up, finds a cutter. It's in the back of the net.
Sphere will be heading to Middlebury next season. She was the All-County last season. 3-sport athlete as well in soccer, basketball, and lacrosse. And Coach Castellane saying she has a high IQ. It does not underestimate her size.
Yeah, a lot of multi-sport athletes for both these teams.
And another quick goal now, making it 2-0 Cold Spring Harbor. And we'll give that one to Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, as we get the replay queued up here, you'll see Ryan Reynolds right off the draw, pushes transition. She has space, right? She sees space. She takes space. She makes the defender stop the ball. You see one try to on a little bit of a flat angle, so she continues to push space, gets back to her right hand, which not only opened up some net for her, but also got the stick back in her strong hand for a good finish.
Yeah, Reynolds will be headed to Maryland. And she as well as a 3-sport athlete in basketball, volleyball, and lacrosse. Also an All-County and All-Honorable Mention as an All-American last season. As she will take the draw here.
Yeah, that All-American nod, right? It kind of coincides nicely with the fact that she's going to Maryland, right?
Makes sense. Going to the ACC to be a Terp. As the draw will be taken once again. And so far early on, after the opening draw controlled by the Dalers, Cold Spring Harbor has taken advantage of that since and has the early 2-goal lead.
Yeah, you see Molly McNamara right there, kind of organizing her teammates on the circle, depending on what she wants to do and what she thinks her opponent's going to do on this draw.
Dalers control this one. This is Bresky. Now giving it to Regan O'Connor, now passing it around. Dalers being patient, trying to break this Seahawks defense down. Trying to get into the circle. And corralled. So I'll take this back up and reset.
Yeah, Cold Spring Harbor playing a backer zone. You see number 6, Zoe Skoskin. She's playing the backer, supporting the ball as the Farmingdale Dalers move it around the perimeter, ready to help on any dodges, take away passing lanes, support inside.
Looks like they're pressing as well, trying to get up to that ball, especially the back as well, trying to cause a turnover.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a staple to most backer zones, right? Pressure the ball, oftentimes also turn the ball back to where it came from, make it difficult for the ball handler to find open players.
And that time a nice job there, and a goal will be given to Regan O'Connor.
Yeah, you watch Farmingdale, like you said, they were being patient. I like to say playing with composure or playing with poise. Skip pass opens up the middle that we were just talking about before those high zone players could get down and cover that inside flash cut. You know, play with your eyes up, head up, eyes inside, finds the cutter, puts it in the back of the net.
Coach Peck says that O'Connor does a little bit of everything. She's the sort of the quarterback of the team. Gets the best matchup, always teams on the top defender. And it's capitalizing here, giving Farmingdale a goal 3 minutes into this game. And looking to win another draw control here. It's Molly McNamara and Ryan Reynolds on the draw. And it'll be another redraw here.
Yeah, they're going to reset the draw here because players didn't go up, ball didn't go up, so they're going to reset.
Well, they're not too much of a factor. It is a bit of a breeze here, but very comfortable here in Farmingdale. Don't need to worry about any rain or any kind of precipitation. And it is May also, too, so you'll see some rain showers here and there, but in regards to any cold weather, that's more or less done for at least this season. At least you would think that would be the case.
Yeah, those of you that may be new to lacrosse, right, pay attention to the draw today. You got two really good players on the draw, right, the nuances of the draw. You'll see them peeking around the circle. You'll see players on the circle moving around. Taking the draw as an art form that sometimes goes underappreciated.
And it'd be a free position here.
Yeah, Maggie Sphere is going to take the free position. She has a good angle. Let's see what her decision is here. Is she going to go to the goal or she's going to kick it out?
Sphere going right into the net, and a good stop there by Caputo. Looked like she was trying to go to the side underneath, but nice save there by Caputo.
Yeah, the adjacent Farmingdale defenders did a really good job taking space away. They took a good angle, made some contact right before the shot could get off. I couldn't see exactly how Maggie lost the ball, but good play by the Dalers off the hash.
Almost a turnover there by Farmingdale, and now Soskin takes it from the ground and brings it in, and bringing it up will be Rachel Louie, the senior defenseman, as Cold Spring Harbor in the offensive zone here.
Yeah, I love how Cold Spring Harbor used the substitution box, right? They got one player off, and then they got on Sienna Koch, which gave them about 10 yards of advantage in the clear, right? They hit Sienna coming out of the box, and they get the ball down the side, get settled into their offensive set.
And now Cold Spring Harbor moving the ball here. Not looking to rush, with plenty of time on the shot clock. Kelly Callahan trying to get in there, breaking a couple defenders and taking away, and now taken back. And that is put in once again by Ryan Reynolds. That's her second of the day.
Yeah, Reynolds gets her second initial push by Callaghan right through the seam of the defense, right? Farmingdale does a great job putting the ball on the ground. But here's a scenario that Coach Castellane was talking about in her keys, right? Win the 50-50 balls. Ryan Reynolds does that, gets the ball in her stick, one kick, quick cradle, finds a spot, puts the ball low into the back of the goal.
You can also see number 11, Caitlin Hotchkiss of Farmingdale, unable to corral that one. It looked like she had it for a moment in the net of her stick, but was not able to secure it, and that allowed Reynolds to get it quickly and shoot the ball in.
Yeah, sometimes that's difficult, right? Especially on the turf when the ball kicks up, it has spin on it, right? If you're used to watching the boys game, if you're used to boys lacrosse, girls lacrosse sticks are different. The pockets aren't as deep, so especially with a girls stick, sometimes it's difficult to get a ball that bounces off the turf with some spin on it.
Draw control taken by the Dalers. Regan O'Connor. Now trying to push it into the circle, just staying a little bit outside, moving around the net.
Yeah, Farmingdale showing poise and composure again, or being patient. You got to be patient when you're playing against a zone defense, especially one as disciplined as Cold Spring Harbor's, right? You got to look for your opportunities, try to isolate different parts of the zone to break it, and then send cutters like Farmingdale's doing right now.
Looking for a good shot here as Brisky passing it along, now taken by Catherine Meyer.
Yeah, you brought up the shot clock before. If you're playing a zone, if you're a zone defense team and you play it well, that's a nice cut. Nice save.
Good save there by Soskin. And another rebound attempt, but by time not gone through by Jessica Rio. Not a bad try there by Rio. Shot clock does reset.
Yeah, so here's the replay, right? Again, playing with your head up, but look at the quickness, the quick hands, the quick feet to get down on that ball. That's a great save. But back to what I was saying before with the implementation of the shot clock, if you're a zone team, your opponent's going to have to be patient and take their time to break your zone down, right? So now with the shot clock, you only have 90 seconds to do that. It could really be beneficial to teams that play a good zone defense.
So Farmingdale in the free position here. And going to the net and putting it in.
That's number 12, Regan O'Connor. So I love Regan's patience here, right? She shows high, right? A little pump high. Gets the goalie to freeze. Finds a white spot, right, in the net. Finds some net and hits it. There's good patience there on the free position and good way to use your hands to freeze the goalie, generate an advantage for the shooter, and then hit a piece of net.
So O'Connor with her second of the game. She's got both goals for Farmingdale. as they cut the deficit to 3-2 with 5:27 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, the closer you get to the goal, right, in any situation, but especially on a free position opportunity, you want to look for net, you want to find net, you want to find white, right? You might hear some coaches say, right? So freeze the goalie, find a piece of net, find a spot of white, and hit it.
Good draw there, and a little bit of a battle there off the draw. And this will go back to Farmingdale. So Molly McNamara will bring it up for the Dalers. Good opportunity here for Farmingdale to tie this one up.
Yeah, this is a big possession for Farmingdale, right? Well, like we said in the open, young team.
Going to the net, and attempt there by Juliana Roberts to not go through.
Yeah, another great save by Soskin, right? That's a good take by Roberts, right? Dodges over the top of a little pick there. You see the middle of the defense open up. She pushes hard. That's just a great save by a great goalie. Soskin's made 3, 4, 5 great saves already to start this game. This could be a tie game right now, or even a slight Farmingdale lead.
Cold Spring Harbor taking advantage again of the great goaltending from their goalie Maya Soskin. So move the ball here. Some patience from Maggie Sphere. And now, nice shot that time, and another goal goes in. This time it will be Sienna Koch with the goal for the Seahawks.
Yeah, Cold Spring Harbor running a little bit of a muddle look or a stack. Up top, you see Sienna Koch just cut right out of it. It looked like Farmingdale may have been zoning that up a little bit, playing sides. The defender was just late picking her up. She puts her stick out in front of her to show a really good target for her teammate. Teammate puts it right on her stick. That's a really easy to catch to make. Now all you got to do is, like I said before, find a piece of net, put the ball away.
So the Seahawks double their lead back up to 4-2. Cold Spring Harbor is coming off a tournament win back on the 26th of April. The last league victory was a 16-7 win over Seaford back on the 24th. As the Seahawks take that, bringing it up will be Olivia Mulata.
Yeah, another great win by Reynolds on the circle.
Nice. Megan Sphere looking around now, getting it to Mulata. Trying to look inside. Now trying to get inside. A good battle there.
Yeah, I really like the way Mulata plays, right? You can see why she's the team point leader. Coach said she's a tremendous athlete, right? You can see she plays with her eyes up. She's really shifty. She protects her stick well. Always ready to make a play, but doesn't force anything, right? She's kind of pushed the corner a couple times. Nothing's been there for her, so she moves the ball on and becomes an off-ball player.
Good defense there by the Dalers, who forced a turnover, and they come back the other way. As Bresky stopping at the top of the circle, giving out to Molly McNamara. And the Dalers will set up a play here. Now inside the circle, it's O'Connor. Slowing things down, getting a lot of time here.
Yeah, Cold Spring Harbor doing a really good job communicating defensively and also approaching the ball, right? So when the ball enters into the zone of one of the Cold Spring Harbor defenders, their approaches are sound, their approaches are quick, they're taking away parts of the field that they want to take away, and they're not allowing the girl with the ball, especially at the top of the field, to see the field.
And some tight defense here again. Cold Spring Harbor still under 30 to go on the shot clock. And a whistle there. A hit to the head. So it'll be a free position here for Farmingdale.
Yeah, that was good help defense there by Mackenzie McGraw, other than the foul, obviously. But she saw an opportunity where her defender needed some assistance, and she got there to do it.
That's Julianne Bresky on the free position goal. So Once again, it is the Dalers that trail by 1.
Yeah, Bresky's their go-to attacker, right? She has a really good shot. Here you see her on the 8-meter with a free position. Keeps her stick right in front of her face, nice and protected right in 2. She has an opportunity to get the shot off. And there, all she does is raise her hands up, right? She doesn't draw her hands back. She doesn't hang her stick. She doesn't give a Cold Spring Harbor defender to an opportunity to kind of reach and get plastic, right? She keeps her stick protected, and then her hands come up, so her stick is still in between her shoulders. Again, finds a piece of net, puts the ball down and away.
Bresky has been the starting attacker since 8th grade. She is a sophomore right now. It's heavily relied on getting the draw control and tries to control the pace of the offense. And the player that the team looks up to, according to Coach Melanie Peck.
That's a nice grab by Malata off the circle.
With under 2 minutes to go. And Farmingdale keeping Cold Spring Harbor on their toes now. Only trailing by 1.
Yeah, Riley Miller just subbed in for Cold Spring Harbor through the box.
They're trying to take it in. That time was Ruby Spielberger, but unable to do so. Spielberger trying to battle for the ball, and she picks the ground ball up. And we'll look to reset here.
Yeah, that was good offense by Cold Spring Harbor. Just a little tight, right? Little 2-man action on the hash.
Good save there from Caputo. Another save by Caputo. 2 saves by Megan Caputo.
Yeah, Kelly Callaghan, great job finding the ball off the rebound. Gets the ball out of her stick quickly, but Caputo was just a little quicker.
Nice head fake that time. Another great save by Caputo. So Megan Caputo with 3 saves in about a 20-second span with under a minute to go, as somebody will try to get one more shot here before the end of the quarter.
Yeah, that's definitely some of the growth that Coach Peck was talking about, right? The ability, big game, big opponent, skilled shooters to stay poised, get set, read the ball, find the ball, react to it. It's 3 great saves by a first-year starter.
So 30 seconds remaining now in the first. Dalers push the ball around. Looking for one of those last-second shots here before the final horn of the quarter. Trying to get it in. And it will be a whistle, and it looks like a free possession opportunity for Catherine Meyer, I believe.
Yeah, that's a smart play by Catherine. She gets the shooting space call. So now she's on the 8-meter with a free position. About 9 seconds to go in the quarter.
9.8 remaining in the first quarter as Meyer goes in. And a save by Sosky. Looks like it might have been deflected, actually, as the final seconds tick off here. So that is the end of the first quarter. We're going to take a look at the saves by the Cold Spring Harbor goaltender, Maya Soskin. And, of course, also first Megan Caputo.
Yeah, so watch Megan Caputo here. Great reaction save. Kicks her leg out, turns her hands over. She's reading the ball the whole way. Reynolds playing with her eyes up, finds a teammate. That's a nice duck underneath and resetting your hands. But there's Caputo again, kicking one out. And then here's the free position, right? I like the decision here off the 8-meter to push back to your right, generate a little bit of an angle there, keep your stick protected. But good defense by Cold Spring Harbor to put the ball on the ground.
So at the end of one quarter play here at Farmingdale High School, it is Cold Spring Harbor 4 and Farmingdale 3. We'll take a timeout on T&D Sports Video, brought to you by Lessings Hospitality Group.
Located in the heart of Cold Spring Harbor, Sandbar features a polished coastal casual ambiance that creates a sleek backdrop for elaborate American cuisine from both the land and the sea. Scan the QR code above and type in LI Sports for 10% off your next meal.
Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field, so why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Start your day off the right way with peace, love, and bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4 Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
And welcome back to Farmingdale High School. If you're just joining us, this is a fundraiser game here for a former Farmingdale player, Hayden Kirk, who was part of the class of 2010. He was a boys lacrosse player. Unfortunately, he tragically died back in December of 2022 at the age of 30. An All-American goalie here at Farmingdale. They've had this fundraiser here every year since 2023. He led the Dalers back in 2010 to the Nassau County Class A title. And this idea was inspired by his sister, Olivia Kirk, who was at the time the coach of the St. John the Baptist team, and they've just been playing it every year since. And she played at Farmingdale High School, won a state title back in 2013. First 2 years was against St. John Baptist, and obviously this year it's against Cold Spring Harbor. But nice thing that Farmingdale continues to do year in, year out in memory of Hayden Kirk.
Yeah, Hayden Kirk was a really close friend of Coach Peck for Farmingdale, right? You see the quote there, Kirk does the work on the banner. And I think our two goalies today are, paying a great tribute to Hayden and the fundraiser that Farmingdale is putting on, right? This is in honor of a legendary goalie here at Farmingdale High School, and both goalies are living up to the reputation that he left behind him as a Daler.
So second quarter just about ready to get underway. Again, we've seen some very good goaltending on both sides and good ball movement by both sides, and it's been pretty even for the most part.
Yeah, we've seen good offense on both sides, right? Structurally, decision-making, right? Spacing issues here or there, but both teams are playing well.
As Cold Spring Harbor takes this one off the shot attempt from Farmingdale.
Yeah, Molly McNamara goes to the goal there off the draw. She lost the ball, right? Cold Spring Harbor's got the ball back, but I like that decision. Sometimes when you're playing against the zone defense, early offense is a great option, right? So if you have an opportunity to push the ball, if you have the space to push the ball against a team that plays a zone, sometimes it's a good idea to do so.
Looks like Caputo got a piece of that one as the Dalers get it, as Caputo actually is double-teamed. And I believe the contact was in the crease, so Farmingdale will take it.
Yeah, you see Cold Spring Harbor pushing the ball here, keeping their eyes up. Great look, swatted down, and there she is with another big save. Even though that pass didn't get through, it was a good look. It was a good decision.
So Dalers looking to tie this one up here.
Farmingdale overloading one side. Sends a backside cutter.
And that one is a
great save.
Yeah, good save by Soska, but recovered. And Brisky could not get it through as Dalers will keep the ball.
See, Farmingdale overloads the far side there in that last set, right? Leaves an isolation on the elbow, and that's just fast on fast, right? The Farmingdale player off the cut got a step, which means her stick is open, which means she's open, generated a good opportunity to score a goal.
Good pass inside, and a goal that time for the Dalers, so they tied up. And the goal will go to Catherine Meyer.
I like the way Farmingdale is looking to skip the ball through the zone defense of Cold Spring Harbor, right? I know I've said it a few times, right? Playing with your eyes up. That's a great backside cut by Meyer. It looks like she hits the seam off the elbow, right? One cradle changes her levels. That's a tough save for Saskin to make. She's made a bunch of them today, right? But you can't expect her to make every save inside the 8-meter or on the crease like that opportunity for Farmingdale.
If someone were to be tuning in and see this score 4-4 right now, you're thinking also Farmingdale in retooling from last year, obviously with a record of 3-9. You would think that this is the same team more or less from last season. They're playing Cold Spring Harbor very competitive right now, and Melanie Peck has done a nice job planning for this one as well and knowing that what's on the line here.
Yeah, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised, right? So you look at the records and all of that stuff, and you'd say, okay, Farmingdale's a young team. Maybe you're a little surprised, but like I talked about in the open, it's a community and a lacrosse program with a lot of pride, gritty kids, a lot of tradition here. So you expect them to come out every single game, regardless of who they're playing, and work to keep that pride and that tradition alive.
So off the free position, this is Riley Miller. And it looks like Miller put that one through. So it's the Seahawks who regained the 1-goal lead.
Yeah, that's a great take by Riley. And this is becoming a theme in the game, and it's a theme that I love, right? So off the 8-meter, she's on the left side of the goal. She's a right-handed player. Right off the whistle, she explodes off the hash, protects her stick, and drives to the right? She drives underneath that closing defender to generate more angle for herself, right? Keeps the stick protected, shoots from a protected position, right? The stick's still in between her shoulders and shoots down and away, right? One of the things that I always used to say as a coach, and I still coach my son's 5th grade team in Smithtown, right? Backside, bottom bar. So you cross the front of the goal, shoot back where you came from, low into the goal. So a great place to shoot is that backside, bottom bar, and that was highlighted there on that free position.
Mira will be taking her talents to the University of Scranton next season.
Yeah, Scranton is getting a good one.
So now the Seahawks will try to regain, will rather take a 2-goal lead once again. After Miller got them, put the Seahawks on top by 1. Of course, anytime there's a whistle, the shot clock does stop, but the game clock continues to run. Plus, of course, it's an injury, referee's flag. As this one will go back to Farmingdale.
It's a good look inside, just a little high. I like the motion there off the restart. Cold Spring Harbor doubling the ball here on the end line.
And that one coming back. A little bit of a sloppy pass there, as the Seahawks will try to take advantage of the turnover.
And I love the way Cold Spring Harbor pushes the ball off the restart, right? Win the whistle, win the restart. See if you could get into something quick before Farmingdale gets their defense set.
Here's Mulata. And looks like she puts that one through. So Olivia Mulatto with her first goal on the day.
Yeah, this goes back to what we were talking about before, right? The poise and the composure that they're all playing with, but especially Mulata. She puts her left foot in the ground right there, pushes back across the face of the defender, right? Nice little split dodge down close to the goal. Generates angle at when she comes out of her dodge. And again, puts the ball low and away. Mulata's shifty. You could see her athleticism on display here in the first half of this game.
Mulatto, that's her 24th goal on the season. She also has 43 points on the year. That is 37th in regards to the league leaders in Nassau County. Also has 19 assists on the season unofficially coming into today, which is 21st in Section 8 in Nassau County. So Farmingdale now, 4 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. They're looking to reset, down by 2.
Yeah, Coach Castelline said Mulata was going to be fun to watch, and I would say through a quarter and a half, I agree.
Bresky unable to put it in now. Gets it over to Catherine Meyer. Again, Cold Spring Harbor, what we saw in the portion of the first quarter with that bit of a press there. Trying to force the turnover. That's Farmingdale again trying to be patient here. It's Bresky trying to make a couple of moves. She's double teamed now. Nowhere to go to, but a flag taken out. And Farmingdale will retain it here with 37 on the shot clock.
Yeah, Cold Spring Harbor recognized a good opportunity there to jump the ball, right? It was a good decision defensively, right? Good opportunity to jump the ball, double it, put some pressure on it, try to create a turnover. If it wasn't for the foul, they would have generated transition there and had numbers going back the other way for sure.
Farmingdale starting up here again. Bresky again. Now breaking a couple defenders, and a save made by Soskin.
Yeah, it's a good take by Bresky. Cold Spring Harbor defense forcing the ball to spots on the field that Soskin likes to see, right? So that's a shot to her stick side in between her shoulder and a hip, tracks it the whole way and generates some transition.
So Now halfway through the second quarter, again, Cold Spring Harbor with a 6-4 lead here on Farmingdale. As that one is deflected, and Caputo is able to snag that one.
Yeah, it looks like Caputo got her foot on that, making another save.
As Meyer brings it across midfield, as Taylor's looking to set it up here, as trying to take it in around the net, unable to do so. And they'll try to reset here again, and now the shot there, I believe that was Bresky again, goes over the net, but Taylor's will keep this one.
Yeah, Farmingdale doing a really nice job creating space for the ball, right? Leaving defenders on islands, creating dodging opportunities, and also creating some chaos away from the ball to generate some opportunities to use their athleticism and use their ability to cut off ball to generate some scoring opportunities.
30 seconds on the shot clock. Bresky inside, good feed, and a little wide that time from Juliana Roberts. But Dailers will take it once again.
That's a great cut by Roberts. A good handle inside also. Good feed by Bresky.
Shot that time saved by Soskin rather.
Yeah, Soskin may have made that save. From where I'm standing, it looks like that may have been deflected by one of the Cold Spring Harbor defenders also, right? So that's a good job getting your stick out and knocking a shot down.
And a takeaway there from, well, Bresky will take this one. Trying to go one-on-one. Good pass inside and just missed on that shot attempt was Juliana Roberts. But Farmingdale will keep it here.
So this is a big possession for Farmingdale, right? So one of the coaching rules of lacrosse is you don't want to give a good team, a good offensive team, a second chance possession, right? You get an opportunity to get the ball all up and out, whether it's off a save or off a ground ball or a caused turnover. You want to do it because you don't want to give a good team a second chance possession because they usually score, as Farmingdale does there.
And there is Julianne Bresky finally getting her that's her second goal of the game, but finally getting it through. And the margin is cut to 1 again.
Yeah, so Farmingdale does a great job getting right into their set, right? Ball behind the goal, pushing left-handed. Defender turns her head. Bresky sees that. She cuts right behind the defender. She's one-on-one with the goalie. She's got all day. She recognizes that as well. Good awareness, good composure, good patience, quick little pump, and putting the ball, again, down and away into the net.
And also a nice pass from Jessica Rio from just to the side of the net to get it to Bresky.
Yeah, Rio shows good patience there too, right? She pushes the left side of the goal. She also recognizes that the defender turns her head and starts to commit to the ball, waits for Bresky to clear, and then puts the ball on her.
So once again, for the third time, there will be another draw. Looks like, correct me if I'm wrong, Charlie, looks like there's a little bit of a delay after the whistle is blown, that the draw controllers try to break the control. It looks like it's taking them maybe like a half a second to try to win the control. Let's see here. Not that time. So thankfully, that one worked out well as Farmingdale takes control. As Bresky will take it here. Again, Farmingdale down by 1. Keeping things close, only been down by 2 at the most so far. Making it very competitive here, making Cold Spring Harbor work for their ability to get this one. As that one is almost turned over, and now it looks like Cold Spring Harbor will get possession here.
Yeah, Farmingdale also doing a really nice job, like I said before, creating space for the ball, right? Leaving defenders on islands, creating opportunities to dodge, and also breaking the structure of that Cold Spring Harbor zone.
And going all the way for that goal for the Seahawks is Ruby Spielberger.
Yeah, that's a good take by Spielberger. Right, she's got her eyes up. You can see she's looking to move the ball if she has an opportunity to move it or if a defender commits to her. Defender doesn't commit until late. She recognizes a good opportunity to dodge. Quick little face dodge. Again, protects her stick, keeps her stick in her right hand there. So when she gets ready to shoot, she still has angle to shoot. We talk all the time, your stick has eyes, right? So it's not only what you can see, but what, theoretically your stick would be able to see on creating angle for your shot. So that's a good decision there going to the goal.
Yeah, Spielberger, a couple of fakes and getting the ball past the goalie, Megan Caputo. And again, it's a 2-goal lead for the Seahawks with 2:41 to go in the first half. Farmingdale wins that control.
Yeah, obviously there's no bias here, right? We're not rooting for one team over the other, but when I was looking at the roster, I was kind of hoping Ruby would put one in because she shares a name with my daughter. So it's nice to hear Ruby over the broadcast.
So that one should be dedicated to your daughter for that goal.
Yeah, I just did, I think.
As Seahawks take this one. As Bridget Wilcox bring it up for the Seahawks. Another shot and the save by Caputo from the shot.
Great save.
Yep, that was taken from Sienna Koch.
Yeah, what I like about that save is I like the shot, right? Sienna Koch coming down the left alley, left-handed, shoots to the back side of the net, but that's tracked the entire way by Caputo. She punches her top hand to the goal. Again, doesn't give up a rebound, stays composed, and starts to clear.
And Caputo taking her time, getting it across, and now Farmingdale bringing it up here. So it's Jessica Rio.
Cold Spring Harbor doing a great job, possession after possession, redefend after redefend, putting pressure on the ball. Farmingdale can't get anything out early, and there's Malata's athleticism on display again, right? We saw her quick feet, now we saw some hand-eye coordination creating a turnover for the Seahawks.
Kelly Callahan bringing it up here for the Seahawks. We approach 1 minute to go in the first half. Seahawks trying to put another one in, increase the lead.
Yeah, shot clock's off. Probably going to hold for one here, right? Similar to basketball, right? End of the quarter. Shot clock's off. Hold for one shot. Don't give your opponent an opportunity in this half to get another goal.
It's Callahan. And a good save there by Caputo. And ball is up in the air. Battle for it. It looked like Caputo made a kick that one. And that one rolls in. And I'm not sure exactly if anyone had rolled it in for Cold Spring Harbor, but it is a goal for the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm not sure either, right? So Caputo punches one out, then she kicks one out, and I couldn't tell if that was Malata or a Farmingdale stick. It might have been a Farmingdale stick right there that accidentally pushed that ball into the goal. That's a tough one, right? I've been on the wrong end of plays like that as a coach. One time in the county championship game, one of my defenders in front of the goal just trying to make a play, push the ball back to our goalie. Our goalie wasn't expecting it. It goes into the net. Unfortunately, we ended up losing that game by a goal. But that's just a player trying to make a play, right? Again, not saying that that's exactly what happened. It was tough to see. But if it was off a defender's stick, she's just trying to get the ball back to her goalie, right? Secure the ball, get into the clear, and push transition.
We'll try to get the official goal announcement sometime during the half, as they're under 20 seconds now. Farmingdale will get the last opportunity, it appears.
Yeah, Farmingdale here, I am absolutely holding for one. We're under 15 seconds, so this is a good time to go.
It's Rio trying to look inside. Bresky with 3 seconds to go. I'm not sure if she knows how much time is left. And she takes a shot and it goes wide. So a promising first half for the Dalers, but it is the Cold Spring Harbor Seahawks who have the 8-5 lead at halftime. So with that, we'll take a timeout here for 10 minutes, or approximately 10 minutes, and we'll come back with the start of the second half on the Lessings and Hospitality Group game here on T&D Sports Video.
Located in the heart of Cold Spring Harbor, Sandbar features a polished coastal casual ambiance that creates a sleek backdrop for elaborate American cuisine from both the land and the sea. Scan the QR code above and type in LI Sports for 10% off your next meal.
Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field, so why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Start your day off the right way with peace, love, and bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4 Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Half pipe, leave you full of pain? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle, so you can feel better faster.
Experience. Trusted. Proven. Excellence. Over 20 years of professional sports video production. The industry standard. T&D Sports Video Production. Whether it's a single game, a whole season, or a college recruitment video, T&D Sports is your one-stop video solution. T&D Sports Video Productions. All sports, all levels, all the time.
Located in the heart of Cold Spring Harbor, Sandbar features a polished coastal casual ambiance that creates a sleek backdrop for elaborate American cuisine from both the land and the sea. Scan the QR code above and type in LI Sports for 10% off your next meal.
Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field, so why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder, leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle, so you can feel better faster.
Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field, so why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Located in the heart of Cold Spring Harbor, Sandbar features a polished coastal casual ambiance that creates a sleek backdrop for elaborate American cuisine from both the land and the sea. Scan the QR code above and type in LI Sports for 10% off your next meal.
Start your day off the right way with peace, love, and bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4 Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Halftime here at Farmingdale High School. You can see the score there. Cold Spring Harbor with an 8-5 lead here on the Farmingdale Dalers. You see some of the younger Farmingdale Dalers Pee Wee group probably practicing for the future. As we'll see in a few years, this is Larry Carini here with Charlie Rizzuto. We're going to take a look at recap the scoring summary of some of the goals we saw in the very tightly contested score. There were a couple of ties in this game, as well as 1-2 goal leads. Farmingdale has not had the lead yet, but now they have a 8-5 lead, the biggest lead of the game. And Julianne Bresky has 2 goals for Farmingdale, but also Ryan Reynolds, who did a nice job early on, has 2 goals herself for Cold Spring Harbor.
Yeah, and going into the second half, right, one of the keys for Farmingdale, in all honesty, offensively, is just keep doing what you're doing. They're generating good opportunities. Again, they're putting defenders on islands. They're doing a good job using their athleticism and their ability to cut off ball, right? Maybe a little bit better job finishing their opportunities, right? Freezing the goalie, finishing opposite of where your stick is, high to low, left to right. But I would say maybe the biggest key in the second half for Farmingdale is to take care of the ball in the clearing game, right? Cold Spring Harbor is putting a lot of pressure on the ball. Farmingdale's got to generate and optimize their possessions. If they could win the time of possession battle in the second half, I could see them chipping away at this small lead Cold Spring Harbor has.
And, of course, also, too, Farmingdale has to be able to beat the press, as we mentioned as well, in order to keep this one close. But, of course, going back and forth, down by 3, that's a big thing. And Farmingdale, of course, trying to position themselves for the playoffs coming up. As we'll take a timeout here, and we'll get you ready for the start of the second half coming up in just a moment here on T&D Sports Video.
Located in the heart of Cold Spring Harbor, Sandbar features a polished coastal casual ambiance that creates a sleek backdrop for elaborate American cuisine from both the land and the sea. Scan the QR code above and type in LI Sports for 10% off your next meal.
Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field, so why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Half pipe, leave you full of pain? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle, so you can feel better, faster.
Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
you know, Hayden was a very good friend, big friend over there. There's not a day that goes by that we don't think about him. He's a story of ours. We get Ralph and we think about him, and I just want the Terps to know that he's always in our minds, and his spirit and his memory will always be with us. So, you know, just a little background, the fundraiser that we run is called the HK41 Foundation. All of the chips, the water, everything that you buy, it goes towards 2 scholarships for 2 student athletes, a male and a female lacrosse player that represents who Hayden was as a person. And we have the opportunity to keep his memory alive that way. So thank you for everyone who donated, everyone who continues to donate. Thank you so much. Our family could not be happier, and it's such an incredible way to keep his memory alive. So thank you guys. With that, we'll pull out 2 raffle winners, and I hope you guys win $1 million. This is for the A's.
And welcome back to the broadcast booth, everybody. Larry Gurney here with Charlie Rizzo, who just had a nice little tribute to one-time Farmingdale Dale Hayden Kirk. We mentioned earlier on that they have a tribute to him every year, a fundraiser. The 3rd consecutive year they've done it so far. They have a fundraiser, and they raise money for a foundation that they had in honor of Hayden Kirk's name. So a very nice thing that Farmingdale continues to do 3 years after his passing.
Yeah, it sounded like they got 2 scholarships, 2 seniors, 1 male and 1 female. But if we go back to that replay, we were having some conversation earlier about how that ball actually ended up in the net. Shari Campbell, legend here at Farmingdale, former girls lacrosse coach, former PE teacher, now retired. She's at the table today. She was able to confirm for us that was accidentally put into the goal by a Farmingdale defender. They gave credit to Kelly Callaghan on the goal. But you see the scrum there again. Can't see the number of the defender, but she's just trying to make a play, get the ball back to her goalie, secure possession, get into the clear. Things like that happen sometimes. Unfortunately, it goes into the goal, but no fault there, right? Just kid trying to make a play, just didn't go her way.
Yeah, loose scrum, obviously. And again, it's not often you'll see those types of balls go into the net, but unfortunately that's what happened there, and Cold Spring Harbor was able to take advantage with the 3-goal lead. So Kelly Callaghan gets her first of the game and giving Cold Spring Harbor a 3-goal lead. As, again, they're having the ceremony down for Hayden Kirk with a fundraiser 50-50 and all that, and it's again, a nice tribute, like we said, for one-time Daler who played here back in 2010, an All-American, great goalie, and we've seen great goaltending by both of the goaltenders in this game between both Soskin and Caputo.
Yeah, we talked about it in between the first and second quarters. It continued into the second quarter, and I'm expecting it to continue into the second half, right? The Farmingdale coach, Coach Peck, told us before the game that the growth of her goalie has been tremendous in terms of stopping the ball, being a leader on the back end, and especially in the clearing game. And we know all the accolades that Cold Springs Harbor's keeper has accumulated over the course of her career. So it's a nice tribute to Hayden Kirk. The goalies are on display, raising a lot of money here at Farmingdale today in his memory and in his honor to generate scholarships for Farmingdale seniors.
Farmingdale also trying to break a 5-game losing streak. Their last victory was back on April 8th, and that was a 3-goal victory, 16-13 over Seaford. And a heartbreaking loss they had on April 24th to Port Washington by the score of 15-13. So trying to make some noise here. Oh, the Farmingdale Dalers again, 15-4 last season in rebuilding mode. Now with a record of 3-9, and keeping this game close. But Cold Spring Harbor does have the 3-goal lead as the second half will just about getting ready to start. With just about 2 weeks left in the regular season for Nassau County before the playoffs take place.
Yeah, curious to see what adjustments each team may have just made at halftime. Going into the second half here, see what looks different from the first half. And speaking of the goalies, I'm curious to see what Soskin and Caputo do in the second half, not only in terms of stopping the ball, but getting the ball out quickly, see if they could push the pace a little bit from in between the pipes.
So both players at midfield ready for the draw for the start of the second half. And this is controlled by Cold Spring Harbor.
Yeah, that's another key for Farmingdale in the second half, right? We talked about the clearing game, talked about time of possession, talked about possessions in general, and all of that starts at the draw.
So Ryan Reynolds has won a majority of those draws for the Seahawks. Of course, Reynolds has 2 goals on the day, but sporadic goals as well for the Seahawks. Koch also has 1, Miller, Spielberger, and Callaghan. Got patience here for the Seahawks, looking in now, taking it back out. It's Callaghan.
Yeah, Cold Spring Harbor moving into a set that we used to call pairs, right? So a lot of players. Nice look.
And Reynolds there gets the hat trick. It's her 3rd goal of the game. And it puts the Seahawks up by 4.
Yeah, so as I'm saying that, right, Reynolds breaks free. You see her at the top of the screen right there. Cold Spring Harbor running a set where players are working in pairs to try and get each other open, right? We saw a couple of picks. We also saw a couple of dummy picks, or we would call like bogus calls. If we go bogus, we're going to show like we're going to set a pick, but we're going to slip or pop off of it before we actually set the pick. Sometimes you get both defenders going with the picker. You can cause some confusion, and there you get Ryan Reynolds wide open, flashing down the backside pipe. Nice handle, and she tucks that one right inside the far pipe.
I want to make a correction, actually. Farmingdale is on a 6-game losing streak. Their last loss was at North Shore back on the 29th of April. That was in a 15-11 loss. As Cold Spring Harbor once again wins the draw.
It's a great job by Olivia Mulata coming off the circle, winning her matchup on the circle, going up strong, and getting the possession for the Seahawks.
And is this the time where you think that Cold Spring Harbor can poise a little patience now with 4-goal lead, you think?
No, it's too early in the game, right? Farmingdale is, like I said, they're a scrappy program. They're a prideful program. They're not going to go away. Right now, you just run what you run. You stick to your identity. You stick to your DNA. There's no reason to slow down, especially in the shot clock era.
And right there, unfortunately, misplay from Olivia Mulatto and causing a turnover.
Yeah, composure and poise and playing smart is one thing, but you're not trying to bleed the clock here in any way, shape, or form. You're just playing lacrosse right now. So good hustle by Mulata.
Daler's bringing it up here. It's Bresky on opposite sideline. Bringing it up to Reagan O'Connor. And now McNamara. And flag is
foul
taken
on
out.
the check there.
Yep, flag taken out. And
Cold Spring Harbor applying pressure during the entire redefend, though, right? That's something that they've been doing in spurts during the game, putting a lot of pressure on the ball and making Farmingdale work for everything that they're going to get.
So McNamara in free position here. Everyone gets positioned here. Referees both adjusting, and whistle is blown, and McNamara throws it up high. And the ball will go back to the Seahawks.
Yeah, it looks like it was Ryan Reynolds right off the circle, gets long, gets a piece of plastic, disrupts the shot. Right, so I mentioned earlier in the game, Cold Spring's been using the box, right? So they're taking the defender off at the near cone, sending an offensive player on at the far cone or pylon. I don't know if we could get a shot of the box at any point, but you'll see that it's about 10 yards wide. There's 2 cones there. There's 2 pylons there. That time, Cold Spring Harbor ran to the box and then stopped and turned back. And they got it to the defender, got it up the sideline, and now they're getting into their set. Now they sub behind the play and get Koch on the field.
That time, good defense there, but I think a cross-checking foul is called on number 22, Katie Smith of Farmingdale. Seahawks getting it in. Can't get that to go through.
Good feet by Caputo. Again, I know we're not keeping track of this, but I'm curious to go back and watch the tape and see how many saves she's kicked out today. That's got to be at least 4 or 5 on the day.
Caputo has done a nice job in net, trying to keep this one close. Doing all that she can.
Yeah, so see, you can see the substitution box I was talking about. You see the one pylon on the left on the 45-yard line, the other pylon on the right on the 45-yard line. So when Cold Spring Harbor goes from defense to offense and offense to defense, they're taking the near side player off the field at that near pylon, trying to generate advantage, trying to gain 10 yards in their clearing game, sending the offensive player on at that far pylon. And then when they go back in the other direction, they do the same thing and change personnel.
Good pass in that time, but just a little wide of the net. The shot by Regan O'Connor goes a little high. Farmingdale will get a new shot clock, though.
Looked like Soskin got a piece of that, and immediately she turns and starts barking at her defense to get set. Taking control of the defensive end of the field.
As Bresky with a couple of nice moves going left and right, but finally shooting left on the left side. And she will pick up a goal. That will be her 3rd of the game.
Yeah, and here you see why she's their go-to attacker, right? She pushes right-handed, turns, face dodge, gets right back into her roll dodge after she generated angle to shoot, right? One step out of her dodge, the ball's out of her stick. What I love about that most is a lot of times, especially new players or younger players, they think they have to run by their defender to beat them, right? So one rule of thumb that I talk about with my players is if your hands are free from a position that you could shoot or a spot on the field you feel comfortable shooting, you've generated advantage on your defender and now you're a shooter, right? So she pushes to the right, get the ball to the middle of the field, probably already knowing she's going to roll back to her left hand, but pushing to the middle gives her more angle and more net to hit when she rolls back to her left hand. Puts the ball far side, right off Soskin's hip.
Yeah, Melanie Peck says that Bresky has a hard shot that is tough to stop, and with all those head fakes that she made, that was pretty hard. As Soskin, not enough time to make it move to stop it, and went right through her. So it's now 9-6, just about halfway through the 3rd quarter here. And a great save by Caputo.
Another kick save. That was great offense by Cold Spring Harbor, though, right? Milata playing with her head up. Again, dodging, head up, hands free. Cold Spring Harbor sending a cutter. It looked like off another pairs set or 2-man game inside. She gets open, kick save, Caputo.
Caputo is 7th in Nassau County coming into today's game of 113 saves, and definitely increasing that mark. Both goalies I've noticed have just been making all these kick saves. They have no padding on those legs, like hockey goalies, but they've just done a tremendous job trying to keep both their teams in this game, and that's pretty much what we've seen today.
Yeah, and you see the trust that the Cold Spring Harbor coaching staff has in their goalie here. Whoop, I thought she was going to shoot that one too. But you see the trust that they have in their goalie, Soskin. When the ball's behind the goal, she's coming out of the goal and almost serving as a 7th defender trying to take away passing lanes.
Some pressure there as the shot goes off and deflected. Farmingdale gets it back again. Shot clock's at 20. Trying to look inside here. Some trouble here is O'Connor. Shot clock now down to 10. McNamara trying to get inside. She gets hit and a foul is called on Kelly Callaghan.
Yeah, Cold Spring Harbor's doing a really nice job closing space down when Farmingdale tries to overload size, send cutters. I didn't see the call by the official, but it looked like on contact there, the defender's stick was horizontal.
Well, with 5 seconds to go on the shot clock, that shot is taken, and it's going to go the other way.
Ryan Reynolds again getting long, getting plastic, disrupting the shot.
So big time stop there by the Seahawks as they'll bring it back to the opposite side. And here is Kelly Callaghan. Give it to Riley Miller. It's Seahawks moving around. They set up here. Under 4 to go here in the third. The defense has been the key here for the Seahawks as well. On top of the saves by Soskin and goal. And a whistle there. And the Seahawks will get the free position. So it'll be Olivia Mulata that will take the free position. She has 23 goals on the season. Make it 24 after the goal she scored in the second quarter. Make it 25 now for Olivia Mulata. We'll make it 10-6 for Cold Spring Harbor.
Yeah, Olivia quick off the whistle here. Left-handed player. Again, tucks her stick, pushes across the face of the defender, generates more angle. And then I love, again, she pushes across the front of the goal. She's low as she protects her stick. She kind of changes her level there with her body, right? She's got her stick protected. She dips down underneath the defender, pops up quick, and pushes the ball back across the front of the goal, shoots back where she came from, puts the ball in that top right corner.
Like you said earlier on, Charlie, she's fun to watch, and she definitely has been. Another good thing that we've been told by Coach Danielle Castellane, she's an athlete. She takes risks. She's dynamic, scrappy, she's all the above. And she's done a lot of it today. Only two goals, but either way, she's done a lot of the other things as well.
Yeah, she plays like a prototypical attacker, right? She could feed the ball. She could go to the goal. She could finish in tight. She's backed up the cage a bunch of times. She sets the tone offensively in some of their sets. She's been fun to watch, like Coach said she would be. Another thing I like out of that offensive set by Cold Spring Harbor, they kind of fell into a little bit of a muddle at the top of the 8, right? Sent some cutters out of that, put some defenders on islands, playing 3-on-3 out of the muddle, and then they broke the muddle and went into like a square at the 12.
So now Cold Spring Harbor looking to increase the lead a little bit more as they're up by 4. Mishandle there by Mulata, but she'll retain it. Trying to find the cutting Riley Miller, but unable to get it to her. Looks like it'll be another free position here for the Seahawks.
That's a nice double there by Emma Lembo. Dodger showed her back, so she decided to go. That's a good opportunity to double the ball.
Maggie Sphere going in, bouncing it as that went over the head of Caputo. And the Dalers will take it now.
Yeah, that's a good take by Sphere, right? When you're inside the 8 or when you're that close to the crease, unfortunately, you'll see when you take a bounce shot, that happens more oftentimes than not, where the ball will bounce over the goal. Right? Anybody watching this broadcast that loves science, right? You talk about the trajectory of something. You shoot the ball straight down, it's probably going to bounce straight up. So a good take. Maybe wouldn't bounce the ball in that tight, but then again, couldn't see if she got any pressure or if she got checked on the shot.
Could also be what is the law of averages in terms of how the shot gets through. So now 90 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Again, 10-6 lead here for Cold Spring Harbor.
Yeah, this is an important possession here for Cold Spring Harbor. You got 55 on the shot clock, minute 19 in the quarter. Love that.
Shot there, and looked like that was kicked, possibly deflected. Couldn't quite tell if Caputo got a piece of that or if that was off of one of the other Dalers. Might have been Emma Savino.
I think Caputo kicked that one out too. But again, I love that two-man game action on the elbow.
And a nice shot there. Mulatto once again. Back-to-back goals for Olivia Mulatto, and that's a hat trick for her. And it puts the Seahawks up 11-6.
Yeah, I think the best thing about Mulata's game is she's only a sophomore, right? We got 2.5 more years of this. Good opportunity to dodge. You can see that's a great shot there by the camera. A lot of space. She pushes the top field shoulder on the defender. And then I love how she changes her angle to the goal, right? Pushes through the top field shoulder, changes her angle to the goal, so she starts moving away from the help defender, which enables her to keep her hands free, right? Protect her stick so she doesn't get checked and the defender can't disrupt the shot.
Mulatto also with the bounce as well, right in front of Caputo. May have possibly not put her in the proper position to make that save. So great shot there by Olivia Mulatto. Again, one of the top players, again, sophomore on this Cold Spring Harbor squad. And again, Seahawks take this one. Reynolds trying to go all the way. She still has the ball in the circle. The shot is, and another goal. So end-to-end for Ryan Reynolds off the draw control. And the Seahawks, with their biggest lead of the game, now 12-6.
Yeah, you see why she's headed to Maryland, right? She pushes right off the draw. No numbers. She starts to pull it out. She recognizes the defender starts to overcommit a little bit, so she rolls underneath, decides to re-attack the goal. Again, brings her hands high, doesn't expose her stick, no checks, puts the ball far to that top corner.
For Reynolds, that is her 4th goal of the game. So, outstanding job in the draw control, and just as good of a job putting the one in the net.
Yeah, in a game like this one, you're playing a good opponent. It's a close game at the half. In that second half, your players got to make plays, right? Your big-time players especially got to make plays, and we're starting to see that for Cold Spring Harbor.
Seahawks have outscored the Dalers 4-1 in this third quarter as we're in 30 seconds now. So the Dalers looking to at least get one more before the horn sounds.
Yeah, again, we're at that 15-second mark. Farmingdale's got to start to push the pace here offensively.
Trying to break in. And unable to get the shot as Reynolds takes it. And Soskin will hold the ball. His final seconds tick off, and that is the end of the third period. So a very dominant third quarter for the Cold Spring Harbor Seahawks as they have the 12-6 lead here at the end of 3 quarters of play. We'll take a timeout here on the T&D Sports video presented by Lessings Hospitality Group.
Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field. So why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Located in the heart of Cold Spring Harbor, Sandbar features a polished coastal casual ambiance that creates a sleek backdrop for elaborate American cuisine from both the land and the sea. Scan the QR code above and type in LI Sports for 10% off your next meal.
Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Start your day off the right way with Peace, Love, and Bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4 Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports. Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field. So why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder, leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field. So why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Located in the heart of Cold Spring Harbor, Sandbar features a polished coastal casual ambiance that creates a sleek backdrop for elaborate American cuisine from both the land and the sea. Scan the QR code above and type in LI Sports for 10% off your next meal.
Back here at Don Snyder Stadium on the campus of Farmingdale High School after 3 quarters of play, Cold Spring Harbor with a 12-6 lead here over Farmingdale, as again it was a close game throughout, but Cold Spring Harbor has taken control at the end of 3 quarters of play here, Charlie.
Yeah, Farmingdale's still within striking distance, right? It's lacrosse, and it's only 6 goals, right? You get a couple, you start winning some draws, and you can put a run together for sure. Curious to see how this young Farmingdale team responds in this 4th quarter as Cold Spring Harbor extended their lead a little bit in the 3rd.
Combination of Ryan Reynolds and Olivia Mulatto doing the bulk of the dirty work for the Seahawks in that 3rd quarter, combining for 7 goals, 7 of the 12 goals that Cold Spring Harbor has scored today. So again, winning the draw control has been key here for the Seahawks. Seahawks, of course, tied for 3rd in Conference 1 with Manhasset with a record of 7-2, just behind Southside and Garden City. Garden City still has not lost in Conference 1. Southside 1 loss on the season.
And Cold Spring Harbor, again, working off ball in pairs. Trying to set up opportunities to cut from the top. Now they got a 2-man game going on behind, playing 2-on-2 under the elbow. Throwback.
Definitely look at a slowdown now as shot clock is just about at 22 now. But that ball is loose, and it's picked up by Catherine Meyer of Farmingdale, and she'll bring it across midfield.
Yeah, Cold Spring Harbor offensively there. The off-ball players did a really good job occupying the Farmingdale defenders, right? When you have success running those like pair sets or those 2-man games, defenses have to pay attention to it and how they're going to play it. Are they going to switch? Are they going to get through? So you start to generate that attention from the defense. Now you could just occupy those defenders and allow your other players to play 2-on-2 below the elbow, which is what we saw there. We saw 2 defenders go to the ball. We had a throwback to Mulata, just didn't see it.
Oh, what a great save there by Maya Saskin.
Yeah, Maya was just named one of the top 10 goalies on Long Island by Newsday. Obviously a well-deserved honor to go along with every other accolade that she's accumulated during the course of her career.
Storied career for Maya Saskin at Cold Spring Harbor. And she's done the job here this afternoon.
Yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen Maya play in person. And Florida's getting a good one.
With this portion of the game, again, no rush here for the Seahawks. They'll try to run some of that shot clock down as well. Again, now moving the ball inside. And the head fake that time, and shot went wide. And this will stay with the Seahawks. Shot was taken by Maggie Sphere. Actually, excuse me, Farmingdale gets the ball back. I thought the referee had pointed towards the Seahawks side, but might have changed his mind now, going back to the Dalers.
Yeah, Farmingdale did a nice job getting position on the end line, right? So in lacrosse, on a shot, when the ball goes out of bounds, whichever player is closest where and when the ball goes out of bounds gains possession, right? A little bit different than an errant pass that might go out of bounds. That's just a turnover, or a deflected pass that goes out of bounds. That's just a turnover. But on a shot, it's whoever's closest where the ball goes out, when the ball goes out, gets the possession. One like caveat to that rule that some people might not know is that if a shot's deflected, it's still closest to the ball where and when it goes out. So if Cold Spring Harbor takes a shot here, ball goes out of bounds or ball's on its way out of bounds on the end line, and a Farmingdale defender hits it with their stick but never gains possession, and the ball continues to the end line, it's still whoever's closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds that gets possession.
So now Callaghan, and she will put it in. And that is her second of the game. This one off a shot, unlike the previous one that was she was the last player to touch it, that was rolled in by a Farmingdale player at the end of the first half.
Yeah, so the first note that I have here for Kelly Callaghan from coach is that she's a lefty dodger. And there you see why, right? Gets the ball out there on that left side of the field, dips her right shoulder, hard dodge to the middle, and again, backside, bottom bar, great shot.
As we have a moment now during this timeout, we'll take a look at the upcoming schedule on T&D Sports Video, sponsored by Lessings Hospitality Group, coming up on May 6th. Boys lacrosse action in Nassau County, big one. It's going to be Cold Spring Harbor versus Garden City. On May 8th, some flag football for you as Savo, and this will be sponsored by Oral and Cohen Sports Medicine. Savo will take on West Islip. And then on May 12th, once again sponsored by Lessings Hospitality Group, it will be West Islip taking on East Islip in boys lacrosse in Suffolk County. All for you right here on T&D Sports Video. As we'll take a timeout, as we'll come back with 7:49 to go here in the fourth quarter. It is Cold Spring Harbor 13 and Farmingdale 6.
Located in the heart of Cold Spring Harbor, Sandbar features a polished coastal casual ambiance that creates a sleek backdrop for elaborate American cuisine from both the land and the sea. Scan the QR code above and type in LI Sports for 10% off your next meal.
Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field. So why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Jump shot, leave your knee shot? We've got specialists for that. Face down after that face off? We've got specialists for that. Half pipe, leave you full of pain? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle, so you can feel better, faster.
Start your day off the right way with peace, love, and bacon. Named Newsday's Best of Long Island and Best Brunch from 4 Leaf Best of Long Island, Hatch is more than just brunch. Stop by from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Larry Courtney here again with Charlie Rizzuto. Just want to also mention, too, a couple of the upcoming games for Cold Spring Harbor with only 2 weeks left in the season, now less than 2 weeks. They're going to be taking on Sacred Heart tomorrow at home at 2 p.m. They'll have an encounter at Wantagh at 5 o'clock on the 8th. And then St. Anthony's, it should be an interesting matchup. It'll be a home game at 6 p.m. on May 14th. Meanwhile, for Farmingdale, their last couple of games will be at Syosset. That will be on May 8th. And then they'll have their home finale right here against Locust Valley on May 10th. So, again, season winding down as both teams position themselves and getting ready for the Nassau County playoffs coming up in about 2 weeks or so from now.
Yeah, big games for both teams as the season winds down, right? Cold Spring Harbor, give them a lot of credit for putting St. Anthony's on their schedule. I think St. Anthony's is the #1 team in the country right now. So that should be a really good game.
So after the timeout, so Cold Spring Harbor, actually Farmingdale will take this one. So time starting to wind down a little bit for the Dalers. Again, down by 7 here. Looking to play with a little bit of desperation here. See if they can try to beat some of this tough Seahawks defense. And also the outstanding goaltending we've seen today from Maya Soskin.
And there again, you see Maya serving as the 8th defender, taking away passing lanes inside.
Good tight defense here on Julianne Bresky. As Reagan O'Connor pitches it back out. And moving it along the left side and picking over to the right now. It's Catherine Meyer. Meyer with the shot and the save by Soskin.
Another big save by Soskin. That was a good possession by Farmingdale. Obviously, they wanted to end in a goal, but they generate good offense. They get a good opportunity.
And Soskin just starting to take her time a little bit, but now finds an open player, and that is number 17. That is Mackenzie McGraw.
Yeah, so this is probably the spot in the game where you might see Cold Spring Harbor really start to slow the ball down. Right, not really get settled into their sets until around like 35, 40 seconds in the shot clock. Shorten this game down a little bit.
Now we're just about halfway through the fourth quarter, and again, Cold Spring Harbor with a 7-goal lead.
Similar shape as before. They got that muddle of 4 in between the 8 and the 12 on the left side of the goal.
Flag is taken out as a free position for the Seahawks, and taking the shot will be Sienna Koch. Koch with a goal earlier on in the game, and she will get another goal here to make it 14-6.
Yeah, so one of the things that Coach pointed out when talking about Sienna was how good she is inside the 8, right? Whether it's an 8-meter position, free position shot, or in a settled 7-on-7 set, and she puts it on display there, right? Good idea there to protect your stick in front of your body, not hanging it, pushing back to your strong hand, generate angle, and putting the ball off the goalie's hip.
So balanced scoring for several players on the Seahawks. As again, Reynolds with 4 goals on the day. And Mulata with 3 of her own. Koch has 2 now. Callaghan also has 2. And Soskin with, again, outstanding job. Several saves in net. And doing a great job here. He's only allowed 1 goal in the second half.
Yeah, which is no surprise, right? From either one of these goalies, if they go on a streak in the second half or through a quarter or obviously throughout the course of an entire game where they're only giving up 1 or 2 goals a quarter, nobody would be surprised.
Seahawks trying to just keep it out of Farmingdale's press that they're trying to get, and there's another goal right there. This is Mulatto. That is her 4th of the game.
Yeah, Cold Spring Harbor goes into an open set there, right? Spreads the defense out. You see Farmingdale take a chance, try to create a turnover. At this point in the game, those are decisions you have to start to make, right? But if you don't get it, it generates easy offense for your opponent. Tried to generate a turnover, just didn't get the ball, didn't get the deflection, didn't get the interception, right? So Cold Spring Harbor plays with their head up, finds the open player on the post, shows poise, composure, pump high, finish low.
And Mulatto and Reynolds combining for 8 of the 15 goals for Cold Spring Harbor, and things have just started to unravel for the Dalers. Again, they kept it close during the most of the first half, got it within 6-5, but it's been all Seahawks ever since then. 9 of the 10 goals scored by the Cold Spring Harbor Seahawks.
Yeah, and this is the point in the game, like I said, where you start taking some chances defensively, which could give your opponent some easy shots on the goal or easier shots on the goal, as we see one there.
So with that 10-goal lead now, the running clock is in effect at 16-6.
As we watch the replay here, it's another great cut by Cold Spring Harbor, right? Shows her stick, and again, shooting low to that backside, bottom bar. I also love how quickly the ball got out of her stick there. Right, she cuts over the top, receives the ball, one cradle, no wasted motion, no hesitation, not wasting any time, getting the ball out of her stick as quickly as she possibly can, backside, bottom bar, put it on the board.
That is Bridget Wilcox scoring her first of the game. And you can almost say that at this stage of the game that Farmingdale has ran out of gas. Again, they kept it close throughout the first half, made some good moves, being aggressive as well, but it's Cold Spring Harbor with their experience, what they've done. Farmingdale showing again how things have turned since last season. This is a big learning experience. Again, they can learn from what they had in this game throughout the portion of this game, and you could remember what they did in the first half, but again, what did not happen in the second half of this game.
Yeah, and I think the key word there might be experience, right? I don't know if Farmingdale necessarily ran out of gas, but you're playing against, a defending state champion, an experienced team, a ton of seniors in their starting lineup. They've been there before. They've been in tight games before. They've been in big games before. They've been in big games that have been tight before, right? So they've been there. They've comfortable. They responded well in the second half, but take nothing away from Farmingdale here, competing until the end.
And it'll be a timeout here taken, so we'll take one as well with 3:16 to go in the fourth quarter. Again, Cold Spring Harbor with a 10-goal lead here on T&D Sports Video, brought to you by Lessings Hospitality Group.
Athletes tell their story every time they step on the field. So why not enjoy the storybooks of American fare and endless cocktails at Library Cafe, where every visit is a new chapter. Visit Library Cafe in Farmingdale from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
Located in the heart of Cold Spring Harbor, Sandbar features a polished coastal casual ambiance that creates a sleek backdrop for elaborate American cuisine from both the land and the sea. Scan the QR code above and type in LI Sports for 10% off your next meal.
Finnegan's Restaurant and Tap Room is where Huntington Village has been meeting, mingling, and making memories since 1912. Make your next memory at Finnegan's from now until June 15th and receive 10% off your next meal when you mention LI Sports.
And coming off the timeout from Cold Spring Harbor, a new goalie for the Seahawks. It will be Audrey Davidian, the sophomore, number 32, that will take the place of Maya Soskin, who gets the well-deserved rest of the game off.
Yeah, she deserves a little bit of a breather, and Audrey deserves to play, right? You get an opportunity to get some of your other kids in. They deserve it. They're at practice every day working hard. So it's nice to see her get some time in between the pipes in a big game.
And of course, Cold Spring Harbor gets right back into things tomorrow at home versus Sacred Heart at 2 o'clock start. So I'm sure in part Soskin will get the rest of this portion, obviously the rest of the day off to prepare for tomorrow's game against Sacred Heart.
Yeah, and that's one of the benefits, again, of being able to get other people in. Big game tomorrow. Sacred Heart, really good program, really good team, another traditional, power on Long Island. So it's nice to get your players a rest, get some other people in, get ready for tomorrow.
Coach Danielle Castellane doing a nice job with this squad. When all said and done, they will improve to 11-2 on the season. They'll be 8-2 in conference play. From there will fall to 3-10 overall and 3-9 in conference play. It'll be a free position here. And it'll be Bridget Wilcox, who scored the previous goal. She'll just kick it out. No need to shoot into the net. A lot of substitutions here for both teams.
Yeah, good decision there by Bridget. She's a left-hander on the left side of the field, right? Kick the ball out, get into a set, and play lacrosse. You don't want to push a bad situation there if you don't have to.
There's Wilcox. Ball gets taken away. This is Emma Lembo, who picks it up for Farmingdale, a freshman. Now being brought up by Kaylee Smith. Smith is triple teamed for a second there.
Yeah, good patience, though, to turn away from the pressure, find an open teammate, and finish the clear.
Flag is out. That'll be a free position for Farmingdale, just about a minute remaining in this game. And the shot taken and put in.
That's a good take.
Number 10.
Juliana Roberts off the 8-meter. Right, she's quick off the 8-meter there. She explodes off the whistle. Right-handed player. Make sure she gets back to her right. Brings her stick in front of her face, in between her shoulders, gets underneath the defender's stick, reaching for plastic, searching for plastic, and puts the ball back across the face of the goal. Backside bottom bar.
So that breaks a 7-goal streak of goals scored by the Seahawks. It's going to be 16-7 with 52 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. And Farmingdale with 2 more games remaining. They're off till May 8th when they have a game at Syosset. But of course, Cold Spring Harbor right back at it at home, 2 o'clock tomorrow against Sacred Heart.
Yeah, that break will give Farmingdale an opportunity to prepare for a really good Syosset team. I like the plan that Farmingdale had coming into this game to attack Cold Spring Harbor. They, like we said before, right? They did a really good job in the first half, ran some nice offensive sets. Just needed a few more possessions. As we see a foul here on the dodge to the goal.
So free position as this clock will stop with 19 seconds remaining. Shot taken and saved there by Davidian.
And Davidian gets the ball up and out quickly. Cold Spring Harbor gets right into transition. Good job by the Cold Spring Harbor defenders on the whistle collapsing, making the job for their goalie a little bit easier.
And there is the final horn of the game. And again, Cold Spring Harbor been playing a very competitive game with Farmingdale. Close game, a couple of ties early in the first half, and took advantage in the second half. And they have the 16-7 victory over the Farmingdale Dalers.
Yeah, good game by both teams. Competitive game, especially in the first half. I like the way the Farmingdale fought.
So that will wrap up our broadcast here at Don Snyder Stadium, here at Farmingdale High School. Again, Cold Spring Harbor, the 16-7 victory over the Farmingdale Dalers. So for everyone here at T&D Sports Video, for my broadcast partner, Charlie Rizzuto, this is Larry Carini signing off. Again, thank you so much for watching this presentation brought to you by Lessings Hospitality Group.